Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're setting our sights on Door County, Wisconsin.
Ah, yes. Often called a natural wonderland.
Exactly. It covers this whole peninsula, like 19 communities, 35 islands,
Huh.
along 300 miles of Lake Michigan shoreline.
Quite the stretch.
Yeah.
And it pulls in, what, over 2 million visitors a year?
That's right. Some people even call it the Cape Cod of the Midwest.
I've heard that comparison. Interesting.
So we've pulled together a whole stack of stuff, travel guides, historical bits, local viewpoints.
Got it. A good mix.
And the plan is, basically, to pull out the most important, the most intriguing things about Door County for you if you're thinking about a visit.
Right. Cut through the noise, get to the good stuff,
Okay.
history, key spots, unique things to do.
Yeah, exactly. So where should we start? Maybe.
Hmm.
How you actually get there and move around.
Good place to begin. Because getting around is part of the experience there, isn't it?
Definitely. And one thing that popped out right away was this road. They call it the coveted Northport Twisty Road. Highway 42, way up north.
Oh, yeah. Just before the Washington Island Ferry. That's not an accident, you know?
What do you mean?
Well, those curves, all 15 of them, they were put there on purpose back in the 1930s
Really? Why?
by guys like Jens Jensen, the landscape architect. He founded the Clearing Folk School nearby, too, in Sid Telfer Sr. The idea was to, intentionally slow drivers down.
To make them look around.
Exactly. To make you appreciate the surroundings. There was this whole philosophy, the journey being as key as the destination. Jensen was big on immersing people in nature.
I love that. An early kind of mindful driving.
Sort of, yeah. And
Yeah.
it's supposed to be super photogenic, especially in the fall.
I bet. And speaking of scenic drives, there's the Door County Coastal Byway too, right? Highways 42 and 57 north of Sturgeon Bay.
Yep, that's a big one. It's a Wisconsin scenic byway and a national scenic byway.
Wow. And Writer Magazine apparently said it's like Maine or Cape Cod.
It really follows that beautiful coastline, you know? Along Green Bay, Lake Michigan, tracing the Niagara Escarpment. The Niagara Escarpment, it's this long ridge of dolomite rock. That's why you get those dramatic cliffs and varied terrain in Door County.
Okay. Makes sense.
And it's not just those main highways. There are other routes like Bayshore Drive, County B, I think County U, County Q, quieter roads, different views.
Lots of driving options.
Right.
And you mentioned the ferry from Northport to Washington Island.
Right. If you want to explore the island itself, that's how you get there. Adds another layer to the trip.
But even on the main peninsula, it's not just cars, is it? Biking seems big.
Oh, definitely. And Egg Harbor even has a free bike sharing thing in the tourist season.
That's cool.
Yeah. And you see Segway tours too in Peninsula State Park, other places. It's about how you want to experience it, you know? Slower pace, maybe.
Right. More immersed. Okay, let's shift gears a bit. History and culture. It seems pretty rich.
Oh, absolutely. You've got layers there. The first white settler in the 1800s, separating from Brown County in 1851. Standard stuff, maybe.
And then there's the Belgian connection in the south.
Yes. That's really unique. A big wave of immigration from the Walloon region of Belgium in the 19th century.
Walloon.
Yeah, the French-speaking part of Belgium. And you can still see it. The Namur Historic District is there, these little roadside chapels.
Oh, chapels.
Built by the settlers. Some are still used. And they brought traditions like the Kermis Harvest Festival. It's amazing, this little pocket of Belgian culture in the Midwest.
That's fascinating. And then there's a Scandinavian influence too.
Big time. You see it everywhere. Architecture, like the stave churches on Washington Island.
Stave churches, like in Norway.
Kind of, yeah. These cool wooden churches. And then, Al Johnson's Swedish restaurant, the one with the goats on the roofs.
Oh yeah, I've seen pictures of that.
Classic Door County. Plus festivals, business names, and the food reflects it too. Lots of wild-caught fish, grass-fed dairy, very connected to the land and lakes.
Which brings us to fish boils. You can't talk Door County food without mentioning those.
Definitely not. It's a must-do experience. The origins are maybe Scandinavian, maybe Native American. Nobody's totally sure. But they almost always use whitefish.
And it's kind of a show, right?
Totally. It's communal, a bit theatrical, a real link to the fishing past. And speaking of water, Sturgeon Bay's maritime history is huge.
Right. The Coast Guard station is there, isn't it?
Yep, a major station. And the tugboat John Purves, that's a museum ship now. Really interesting.
And shipwrecks for diving.
Yeah, quite a few. The Great Lakes have claimed many ships, adds a whole different angle for history buffs or divers. And the Sturgeon Bay Bridge is pretty iconic, too.
Just a visual landmark for the area.
Exactly. Oh, and a little tidbit, the hymn, the old rugged cross.
Yeah.
Written in Sturgeon Bay in 1913.
No kidding. Wow. Okay, let's talk natural beauty because some of these places sound incredible. Yeah. Cave Point County Park.
Oh, Cave Point is stunning. It really is a natural wonder. Think these big, undercut stone cliffs.
Carved by the lake.
Absolutely. Decades, centuries of waves crashing in. Sometimes they're over 30 feet high. It's raw nature.
Wow. And you can kayak or dive there too? Underwater caves?
Yeah, for the adventurous types. What's neat is they preserved it pretty early, back in 1943. And there's a trail, the Black Trail, that connects it right over to Whitefish Dunes State Park.
So 2 parks right next to each other.
Pretty much. Whitefish Dunes offers more dunes, obviously, and beach access. Great combo.
Nice. And then Peninsula State Park sounds like a major hub.
It really is. It's got something for everyone. Easy gravel trails like the Sunset Trail or more rugged wilderness hikes.
An Eagle Tower. That sounds like a highlight.
Definitely. The rebuilt tower gives you these amazing panoramic views, especially, like we said, during fall colors. It's the spot for that.
And segways again in the park?
Yep, you can do tours there too. Different way to see it.
Okay, what about Newport State Park? That one's different. A dark sky park.
Right. That's its special thing. Minimal light pollution, so it's fantastic for stargazing. If you're into astronomy, that's the place.
Cool. And dog-friendly beaches, too. That's good to know.
Yeah, Newport is great for visitors with dogs. Very welcoming.
Okay, and then jumping over the water, Washington Island. You need the ferry, obviously.
Right. It's an extra step, but worth it for a different feel.
What's there to see? Schoolhouse Beach?
Yeah, famous for its rocks, not sand, but smooth white stones. Really unique. Good for swimming, picnics.
And a lavender farm?
Fragrant Isle Lavender Farm. Huge fields. Best in spring and summer, obviously, when it's all blooming and smells amazing.
Sounds lovely. And there's a lookout tower. Mountain Park.
Yeah, though last we checked, it was closed for repairs. But when it reopens, the views towards Rock Island State Park are supposed to be incredible. Something to check on if you're planning a visit.
Good tip. And lighthouses. We have to mention those. Kent Island Lighthouse sounds like the star.
It's probably the most visited, yeah. You climb, 97 steps up to the gallery deck?
For the big views?
Exactly. Sweeping views of Lake Michigan, the peninsula. It's worth the climb. Access can be tricky sometimes, depending on water levels, but it's a classic experience.
And there are others, too, like 11 total.
That's right. Some are harder to get to, like Chambers Island or Pilot Island. Pilot you really only see from a boat. But they're all part of that maritime history.
Okay, so timing a visit seems important, too. Fall colors are a big draw.
Huge. Our sources kept saying early to mid-October is prime time. Just spectacular foliage.
And the colors stick around for a bit.
Usually through the end of October, yeah. So you've got a decent window.
And then the complete opposite season, spring.
Yeah.
Cherry blossoms.
Oh, yeah. That's another big moment. Door County has something like 2,500 acres of cherry orchards.
Wow.
And around early to mid-May, they just explode in white and pink flowers. It's apparently stunning.
How long does that last?
Not long, maybe 2 weeks, so it's a short window. But you get wildflowers blooming then, too, and the whole place smells like cherries.
Where's the best place to see them?
Sources mention specific orchards like Sequist's or Lautenbach's, but also just driving along certain highways, county roads. They're kind of all over.
And then comes the actual cherry picking.
Right. Mid-July to mid-August, usually. That's peak season for picking your own cherries. Tart cherries, mostly.
Fun summer activity.
Yeah.
And you can get cherry stuff year-round.
Oh, yeah. Pies, jams, cider, wine. Cherry products are always available. It's a signature thing for the county.
So, beyond the big natural sights and seasonal stuff, what else is there? Sounds like a lot of just experiences.
Definitely. There's a pretty lively art scene year-round. Live music, theater.
Festivals, too.
Lots of events and festivals throughout the year, yeah. And a growing scene for local drinks, wineries, breweries, distilleries, cideries. There's even a Door County wine trail you can follow.
Oh, interesting. A little trail for that.
Uh-huh. And we have to mention fish boils again.
Can't forget the fish boils.
It's just such a unique local thing. And shopping, too. Little towns like Carlsville have artisan shops, boutiques.
Nice. And good news for dog owners again. Generally pet-friendly.
Seems to be, yeah. Dog parks, places you can eat outside with your dog, some lodging options, the specific beaches we mentioned, they cater to it.
So it sounds like Door County really covers a lot of bases.
It really does. You've got that amazing natural beauty, the deep history, the unique culture, and just tons of different activities. Something for pretty much any time of year.
Okay, so let's wrap this up. Door County sounds like, well, an incredible place for a getaway.
Yeah.
This mix of nature, history, culture. It's pretty compelling.
Absolutely. You think about those scenic drives, especially Highway 42, the amazing parks like Cave Point, Peninsula, Newport, the charm of Washington Island.
Right, the blossoms in spring, the colors in fall, that Belgian and Scandinavian
The
heritage.
fish boils, the wineries.
Yeah.
Yeah, it packs a lot into that peninsula.
So maybe the final thought for you listening is this. With all this stuff packed in there, what part of Door County really grabs your curiosity? Is it the wild cliffs, the goats on the roof, maybe just driving that twisty road?
Good question. What kind of adventure are you looking for there?
Exactly. What kind of adventure will you create? And hopefully this deep dive gives you a great starting point to figure that out. Thanks for exploring with us.